Okay, so I want to talk about media queries right now, and I think it's worthwhile maybe starting up a new demo page here, just so we don't get confused. 9 demo 3. Okay. Okay, so let's create a new index file, and we will quickly just throw together an HTML file here. Say, let's see, what do we want to make it to? Okay, so we're going to link, equals style sheet, okay, and type equals text success, and href equals style sheet dot css. Okay, and close that off. So now we're going to create our style sheet. Okay, so we haven't explicitly talked about the difference in. So there are a few ways to create sizes in CSS. Okay, So the way I think we've been doing it so far is with pixels, right? And so it's an absolute value, okay? Meaning if you set something to be 600 pixels, it will be exactly 600 pixels wide. Okay, so if you set a div box to be 600 pixels, that's how wide it's going to be. Okay. The other thing we can use is the percentage. Okay, and so that means it's the percentage of the parent's value. Okay, so if your body, let's say you have a body and then a div ID, let's say we'll call it content. Okay, if you have this and you specify the width of the div to be 50%, that means it'll be 50% of whatever size the body is. Okay, let's do that. So let's go to, did we open up our style sheet? Okay, so what we want to do is, what did I say? Okay, our div. So we'll, what's it called? Content? So we'll say background color red. Okay, and there we go. Okay, so but now let's give it a width of 50%. Okay, but now notice it's always going to be 50%. It's relative. It's relative to its parent container. Okay, so using percentages is one way we can achieve that fluid design, right? Where our design changes depending on the size of the viewport. Okay. Okay, so that's two. Those are probably the easiest to understand. The final one is EM. Okay? And that is also, so this is absolute, this is relative. Okay? And this is also relative. Okay? But what is it relative to? Does anyone know what M is relative to? Sorry? Nope. The font size of the document. Okay? So if the font size, the main font size of your body is 10 pixels, 1 em is equal to 10 pixels. Okay? Does that make sense? So what if I make this, instead of 50%, I make it 1M? Let's try it. Woo! That's small. Why do we think that? Because the body is 12. The text, the font size is 12 point. Okay, now watch this. Man, did it suddenly get really cold in here? Maybe I'm just... Okay, body, and I say font size 50 pixels. Woo! Now, did you see what happened there? What happened? Font size increased. What else happened? What? The width of the div tag increased too, because the meaning of 1M changes depending on what the body font size is set to. So if I change it to 100, they both change. Okay? So what we can do is if we lay out all of our div tags in M's rather than percentages, then all we have to do in order to totally readjust our whole layout is simply change the body font size, and everything else sort of goes whoop. That's what I did here. Okay, so notice the font size is a certain size, and as I shrink it, the font size changes, but everything else also changes as well. Okay, so maybe here, let's change this to back to 12, and instead of 1M, we'll make this 50M. Okay, so now it's quite a bit bigger. It's probably even bigger. Oh, it's so that's how many pixels it is, right? Now, as I increase the font size, my bar changes too. Okay? So it's important to remember what M is. A lot of people don't really have, they sort of have not even a basic, but just barely an understanding of M. Okay? So M can be very powerful, especially with the combination of media queries. Okay? So let's take a look at some media queries now. Okay? So let's say so what we could do is, let's say we want to make so we'll make a media query here. So I think the general approach I would take, and again, this is just my opinion, right? There's room for debate and what's the best way to sort of approach this kind of stuff. But the way I did it in the daycare page is the only thing I changed in the media query was the font size of the body. And then everything else, like margin sizes, everything else I set in M's. So if I wanted to change the size of everything, I just changed one thing, right? So what we could do is we could say this. We use @media, and we say screen and max width 740 pixels. Okay, and then this is what we're going to do when it's 740 pixels. Okay, so for now, let's do this body, and maybe let's do something crazy so we can see exactly if it's working. So let's make the background color red. Okay, so now let's do it. Ooh. Okay. So what we can do instead of that, we could do this. We could say, so we'll set let's say the default font will be 16, and in this case, we'll make it font size 14. Okay? And, okay, so now as we shrink this, it shrunk. Okay, and it's not quite enough. So let's shave a little bit off here. Let's make this 40. Okay. See? Right? My design is sort of running away from the edge of the screen. Okay? So we could do it again. Let's make it, we could basically just copy this. And so let's make another one, 650. And then maybe we'll shrink it down to 12. And that's all, and because I've set my layout with M's, that's all I have to change. Okay? See? And maybe these values aren't exactly right. You might have to adjust them so it works nicely. And but so we sort of have these if statements. These are like if media screen is 750 or greater, then do this. That's how you can read this essentially. Okay. The other thing is, remember, we can edit CSS in Jquery. There are so many ways. See, that's why I keep saying that it's my opinion on how to do this, because there are literally so many. It's like, what's the best way to build a car? I don't know. There's a million ways. Some are good, some are bad. Depends what you're doing, right? So, you could do all this stuff in Jquery and JavaScript, because remember, with Jquery, we can change CSS. So using Jquery, we could get our body, right? Get our body element, get the size, and then we could have a real if statement and say, if body size is between this and this, then we could have a bunch of Jquery that changes the CSS. Okay, that's another way to do it. So instead of using media queries, we could have if statements in Jquery and say, set the body CSS and change the font size there. Okay, so we can do it in media queries, we can do it in Jquery. There are many ways to do it, and a lot of this stuff comes down to preference, style. What do you prefer? What works better? Maybe one of them has an advantage over the other one. I think probably similar amounts of coding. It may be sometimes working with CSS can be frustrating because it's limited. It's not a language, so maybe you might be better off with Jquery because you're thinking like a programmer, and maybe you'll just be able to do a little more things a little more easily. It's up to you. Okay, so just remember that these media queries exist, and remember what M's do, and how powerful they are. Okay, so everyone's clear on M's and the difference between. So there's basically 3 ways of setting size. Okay, what are the 3 ways again? Pixel, percentage, and M. Okay? Okay. Good. Okay, media queries. Good. Okay. Stop this.